We're not African Americans. We're Sudanese Americans.
Yes.
We are African Americans because Sudan is in Africa, so we're African Americans.
I know that.
That's a whole.
I
That's a
know
whole
that.
separate
whole nother
question.
thing.
Because Dr. Umar actually,
We are African
created his own
by
definition.
the term, and that's why
So-
some Black Americans say they don't want to be called African Americans because they don't feel like they have any ties to Africa.
Why, as Black people, do we debate our differences? Why is there disconnect, and what even is the Black diaspora?
The Black diaspora represents people of African descent who are dispersed around the world. This includes, but is not limited to, Afro-Latinos, Afro-Caribbeans, African Americans, and Africans who have been historically displaced by the transatlantic slave trade or emigrated from Africa voluntarily. For this video, we'll refer to this in short as the diaspora.
The first area of discussion is the root of disconnect. The lack of unity within the Black diaspora is complex and rooted in the historical and socio-economic factors. Historical roots such as the transatlantic slave trade forced the migration and displacement of many Africans, causing cultural ties and their identity to be stripped away, as well as colonization in Africa itself by Europeans imposing divisions based on the ethnic background, language, and cultural values of the African population.
Avery Oliver, a Black American, writes, "There was a time before slavery when every single one of our ancestors belonged to a tribe or community, and from there, cultures, traditions, and heritage were taught and formed. Unfortunately, the transatlantic slave trade ruined that and severed those connections and traditions."
In countries and territories like the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and Cuba, the caste system was linked to one's race, social status, and skin color. The Spanish, also known as the dominant social factor, overshadowed the ideologies and culture of those who were Black or were of mixed race. They believed if they dominated the colored blood, their descendants would be rid of it and be pure from any Black.
The real question is, why are we still at square one? And why haven't we made any progress in the Black community to connect? In many ways, these cultures have similarities. This song, "We the People Who Are Darker Than Blue," by influential Black American music artist Curtis Mayfield, sounds a lot like the Afrobeats of West Africa and Afro-Caribbean's calypso genre.
As for food, the modern-day Black American gumbo has its roots in the jollof rice of West Africa. Black communities around the world share a history of colonization, slavery, and oppression, but also culture. The legacy of slavery and colonialism continues to shape the experiences of Black people worldwide.
Some claim we don't need to be connected and we're too different to be alike. Many Black Americans are distancing themselves from the land of Africa and associating themselves with Afro-pessimism, a lens into the interpretation of Black Americans to separate their suffering from other oppressed people around the world. Displaced Africans within the diaspora don't feel the need to connect with their roots that perished a long time ago.
Alden Young, a Black American, argues that many Black Americans refuse to see their similarities as they feel they have no connection to Africa or the people who reside within it.
He states the members of the Black diaspora have forgotten one another to the point where Black Americans developed the theory of Afro-pessimism within their community that showcase the experience of slavery and racism to separate themselves from any other ethnic group.
While we may share similar cultural backgrounds, some may feel that they have little in common culturally with Black people from other parts of the world, so the disconnect is reasonable.
And while there are commonalities in Black culture worldwide, there are also many differences in cultural expressions, including music, art, literature, cuisine, and religious practices.
Language plays an important role in shaping identity and cultural expression within Black communities. Language plays an important role in shaping identity and cultural expression within Black communities, with differences in language contributing to differences in cultural identity they all have.
We gave surveys to members of the Black diaspora to better understand why we lack unity now.
Half of the people who took the survey say they have experienced anti-Blackness from others in the diaspora, but 76% say they stand in solidarity with Black people.
However, we are still split on whether or not cultures within the diaspora are alike.
Because 29% of people believe that cultures in the diaspora are not the same, 36.9% of people think they are the same, and 34.2% are neutral on the matter. So what can we do as a community to fix these broken bridges? Some Black Americans may simply be unaware of these connections they share with other members of the Black diaspora, or they may not have had the opportunity to explore these connections.
Having those difficult conversations with family and friends can bridge that disconnect and build a stronger platform within the diaspora.
Have all cultures within the Black diaspora acknowledge the different yet somewhat similar histories they've endured without downplaying one another's suffrage.
Advocate for policies and initiatives that address the needs and concerns of Black communities globally, such as ending systemic racism, promoting economic empowerment, and advancing social justice.
By taking these actions, we as a community can work towards building greater unity and solidarity within the Black diaspora, while also celebrating the diversity and richness of our shared heritage. Thank you for watching.